Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about emotional control and how it will make you rich. And these are just, again, dots that I've been connecting, and something that I'm working on with my personal development journey is emotional control. And I'm starting to recognize and see now that controlling your emotions is the number one way to change your life, your finances, your relationships, the relationships with yourself, just everything in your life, because it ties into everything. Like, throughout my own journey and just, going through my days, I just really am starting to realize how conditioned I am to react versus respond. I'm really attuned now to why things upset me, and I question myself now. Instead of just being upset, I'm like, okay, why am I upset? Why does that bother me? Like, what's actually going on? And it's honestly changed my life. And now I'm starting to connect it with business and with finances because, sorry, there's like a trash car out here, but now I'm starting to connect it with my business and with finances, because I'm learning that sometimes I'll go throughout my day and I will, something will happen, somebody will say something to me, or I'll just experience something that I don't like. And it's gotten to the point, or it was at the point, because I'm working on it now, where it would mess up my ability to make money making decisions, my ability to create wealth, my ability to focus. Sometimes somebody would say something rude to me or do something to me that I felt was rude, and it would ruin my entire day. I don't want to work on clients. I don't want to work on business. I don't want to do the things that I'm supposed to do, or I get into a fight with a family member. All of a sudden I get upset. I skip the gym. I go out to eat. Like, you see how it's all connected, right? So there are many things in my life that I'm just now, starting to realize that are connected to my emotions. And again, one of the things that I want to work on is just building wealth, creating wealth, just being more in tune with abundance. And you have to be emotionally well to do that. And you see examples of it all the time. I know everybody has their own opinions, but most wealthy people are pretty level-headed. And I know that people want to argue against it, and they want to say, oh, well, Trump, he's a hothead, or this person, that person. And I just want you to bring it into perspective with your own life, right? Like, I don't want to generalize and say that every wealthy person is level-headed, because maybe that isn't true, but they just don't worry about certain things. They don't get bothered by certain things that bother the average person, if that makes sense, right? They don't get caught up on little things. They don't get caught up, there might be instances when they were on the come up, or before they were wealthy, or before people knew that they were wealthy, where people would constantly offend them, where people would, insult them, where they had to, be in situations that just weren't up to their liking, but they knew the bigger picture. They knew what was ahead. They knew what they were working towards, and they didn't let those things stop them and bother them. And that's really what I'm getting at right now. I feel like a lot of people, including myself, we just let little things get to us. We let little things affect our day. And when you think about, being wealthy, when you think about making money, when you think about just the person that you know that you can be and that you know that you are, you can't get caught up on those little things. You can't get caught up with something that somebody said. You can't get caught up with somebody being rude. You can't get caught up with all these little things. And we're human. It happens. I know that. And I fully understand that. But I think it gets to a point in your journey where you start to recognize just how much you're affected by your emotions, and by you, getting angry, getting mad, getting upset, getting sad. And it's like, you have to look in the mirror and say, okay, am I going to continue down this path of just being upset and constantly being on edge and feeling like I have to defend myself and just repeating the same actions over and over, even though I know that it's not benefiting me? Or am I going to make a change and decide, hey, these things that bothered me for the last 30, 40, 50 years, they're not going to bother me anymore. I'm not going to get upset anymore. And I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to change, because I need to succeed. I need to win. And so that's just the mindset that I'm bringing into 2026. I feel like 2025 was really like just an observational year, and being aware, I've talked about this before, is pretty painful, like when you're going to make these first steps to change and to not get so triggered and not get so upset, you're going to be triggered and upset most of the time, and your mind is going to run wild, and you're going to, want to lash out. You're going to have conversations in your head. You're going to be doing all of these things, but I promise you it will get better, and you will grow, and you will learn, and then you'll finally be able to look back like, wow, the thing that somebody said to me the other day that normally would bother me actually didn't bother me. Like, you're going to see your growth just in little things first, and then bigger things. And then eventually it's going to lead to your finances too, because when you want to elevate, when you want to do better, when you want to succeed, you're not going to let your day get so messed up to the point where you can't function, where you're not disciplined, where you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So I think I pretty much driven the point home. I know that I repeat myself a lot and that I reiterate a lot, but again, that's for me. And also repetition is key. And I know that I'm not the first person to say this, but I truly do believe that if you say something in the right way at the right time and you hear it in a certain way, it's just gonna click. And these are the things that have been clicking for me lately. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys from Instagram who are coming and starting to follow me now. I appreciate that as well. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.